Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Lightworker Lady channel, and hopefully also to the Empowered Crystals channel as well, because I'd like to think that we can put these videos out on both channels simultaneously. And welcome back to the wonderful Angela from Empowered Crystals. She knows so much about crystals and Reiki energy, Reiki infused crystals, and she's also rather good at making crystal jewelry. So I have to get her on because we need an expert in the house also, don't we? And I today am modeling some beautiful Shungite jewelry that Angela makes and sells on her website. I have the earring and lovely necklace. I absolutely love Shungite, but I don't think I know enough about Shungite, so I had to get you on, Angela. Welcome. I've done all the talking, I'm sorry. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming to talk to me today about Shungite. So first of all, burning question, where does it come from?
It comes from Russia, and it's one lake called the Shungite Lake, and hence Shungite. But there are other places where you can get lower quality Shungite, and I also use that, and I've tested it for EMF, and the lower quality did better than the higher quality. So don't be too worried if something's lower quality, because it does have those minerals and it still has that carbon content. So I've sort of worked energetically with both, and they're both great, I felt.
Interesting. There's something in it, is it called fullerenes or something like that? Did I read that right?
That's right. It's basically supposed to be the oldest rock in the world. It's ancient. It's supposed to be 2 billion years old. And it's got this weird element called fullerenes, and it's like a crystalline form of carbon, which is quite a large component of the stone. And it's supposed to be the only natural source of fullerenes apart from a few meteorites. So it's really quite a special compound. And there's been quite a few studies on this fullerenes, and it's supposed to have they're not quite sure how it works, but it's supposed to have, it seems to have some effect on the cells. They've done in vitro, which is in cells, and not in vivo, which is in body. I used to be a biochemist, so that's why you're getting all the technical speak. But when I looked into it, it seemed to have quite a positive effect on cells. So it's very new. Because obviously pharmaceutical companies aren't making their money out of it. There's not loads of research in it, but it seems to be quite positive, the effects. So it's really, really interesting stone, and you can understand why there's so much hype around it.
Well, that actually was going to be my next question in terms of physical health. What Shungite is good for. I did read that there was somebody who would put a piece of Shungite into water and drink it.
Yes, it's actually been used. There's some places that actually have these massive Shungite filters that they use on industrial level. But yeah, it's supposed to help filter out your water. It's supposed to be a really cleansing stone. So not only is it cleansing of your water, it's supposed to be cleansing of your energy. And obviously it's really protective stone as well. And I've done tests against EMF radiation. So you talk about your phone, your wireless router, TV, computers, all the technical stuff. EMF has been proven to have negative effect on the cells. That is, no one is disputing that. It's the fact of whether low amounts of EMF will affect you negatively. Probably there's not too much risk, but all these things is a risk factor. So somebody that will have certain risk factors, they can all combine. So why not wear something that absorbs or blocks the energy and have pretty jewelry as well? It's, you know, why not? Why wouldn't you?
Why not? Well, I do have, speaking of that, I kind of grid around electrical items that give off a lot. In particular, our Wi-Fi router. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 5 pieces of shungite around that alone, because it's this huge belter of a flipping. Oh, it's great. It's like a hedgehog. It's got all these different bits going up, and oh, it's typical my husband. He has to get. He's a tech guy, so it's just has to be the biggest of everything. And I'm like, I'm gridding that. I'm putting shungite around it, and I do have one of these little pieces that I put in my phone case as well. And I keep this lovely pyramid of shungite by my bed. So I put my phone, then I put this in front of the phone, and then there's a little gap with where my bed is next to the bedside table. And I think that that is really important, because I don't like going to bed with my phone so close to me, and why not grid it with some beautiful shungite?
Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, great.
Yeah. So what can we use it for on a more spiritual level?
It's supposed to be a miracle stone. That's what it's actually got a nickname of, and the other nickname is the stone of life. And it's supposed to stimulate all growth, so spiritual transformation, positive change. But it's a lot more gentler than other stones. And I always feel so it's got really nice positive energy. And the nice thing about Shungite is it actually works with our root chakra energetically, giving us a stronger connection to earth. And it also helps us to grow spiritually. So you get a very balanced and almost, I'm trying to think of the words for it. You know, when somebody is, they are spiritual and they're sort of not really practical about things. But this gives like a really practical spiritual growth where you can actually work on things, and it'll sort of work by popping things up that are quite a practical solution to your problems to help you grow. So it's a really nice, comforting, if you hold shungite, it's a really lovely, comforting stone. And I think another reason why it is comforting is that it alleviates spiritual imbalances. So it sort of balances our body. So quite a lot of stones that give spiritual growth, they'll pull the energy up here. And shungite works very differently from that. And it also helps to get rid of negative energies, and it helps to clarify our mental processes. So you can imagine it really gives you that grounded, practical approach to spiritual growth, rather than, you know, getting these weird and wonderful ideas that aren't necessarily practical in real life.
I was going to say it's that grounded approach to spiritual growth. You took the words right out of my mouth there, and it's so important. I think when people start their spiritual journey, so many want to bypass all of the groundwork that you have to do in order to start moving up. And that sort of it's the journey, isn't it? People forget that the most knowledge is gathered during the journey, not when you get to the destination. And that is something that I always try and teach people, is the more grounded you are, the more you will experience on your spiritual journey and be able to work with and grow with as you go. So yes, definitely shungite certainly does work with that, doesn't it? So let's move on to average cost of a nice sized piece of shungite, not the pieces of shungite that are like like molded into certain shapes, but just a sort of general piece?
It is so difficult to tell you this because I actually haven't been able to get raw shungite for 2 years. I bulk bought before it got trendy, luckily, and I have tried to top up since because I like to have plenty of stones, but I have not been able to get it for 2 years from my trusted suppliers.
Wow.
I know.
That's popular then, isn't it?
It is super popular, yeah. And also because it comes from Russia, it highlights a few problems for imports for people like me, because I go through PayPal and Russia is not approved. So I actually got all my payments refused from that. So yeah, it's I've got one supplier for beads, which that's been fine, but the raw shungite, I found it really quite difficult to and my data is out of date basically for that.
Oh,
So
wow.
I buy a piece that's under a £5 basically, you know.
So please, before we finish, could you show me some of your beautiful Shungite jewellery, if you have any left?
I know, it does sell. I've got one piece of raw. They keep on selling. I've only got one piece. So that's the raw piece. And that's again the copper. I do like having the copper. I'm modelling one as well. I'm trying to get into camera shots, which is very
difficult. Lovely. Actually, that kind of matches my earrings. I think it's the same style as my earrings.
Yes, I think it is the same, because I do make them in the barley silver, and they're wonderful handmade beads from barley, made in really high quality silver. It's up to 99% silver, so it's a higher quality than even sterling silver. And they actually hand make them. So I've got some earrings. She says flying them away.
Yeah, those are my earrings. That's what
so that's the handmade barley silver beads. I import them myself, so they're fair trade. I actually buy them directly from the company that makes them.
Lovely.
And your pendant, that's the hammer.
Mm.
And that's a nice silver plated one. So that's I tried to make stuff very affordable, but with rare stones, by using affordable materials and nice smaller stones. And those are the earrings as well.
Beautiful.
And I tested those on my EMF tester video, and they brought it down to 0, the EMF.
Wow, that's fantastic.
For tiny little things like that, you wouldn't think they would, but yeah, brought it down to 0.
I do like those testing videos. I love that when you can actually see it with the equipment and see for yourself how effective these incredible stones and crystals can be. Yeah, wow. Well, I think that we've learned quite a lot about Shungite today, and I am so glad you were able to join me again for another video, and I hope that we can certainly do more in the future. That was so informative, and please, everybody, make sure you jump over to Angela's YouTube channel, Empowered Crystals, and take a look at her beautiful jewelry shop, 𝗏𝗪edcrystals.com. Thank you so much for joining me today, Angela, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye.